podcast. I'm Mandy Detwiler, editor of Pizza Marketplace and QSRweb, and I'm here today with Jason Sobocinski and Tekin, co-founders of Haven Hot Chicken out of Connecticut. It's a Nashville-style hot chicken concept making waves in the restaurant industry. Thanks for being with us today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, first, tell me a little bit about your origin story. How did Haven Hot Chicken get its start, and how did you both get involved with the brand?
Yeah, it's a fun one. You want to go, Etkin? You go.
You go. You got it.
Okay, I'll go. Etkin and I have worked together before, a very, very long time ago in another life. I had a restaurant down in New Haven, and Etkin was a Yale student in New Haven, and he came to work for me, which was pretty awesome. So that's how we started together. And I remember, that's not true, I don't remember. He told me this, that during our first interview, he said, someday I would like to open up a business with you. And I was like, sure thing, buddy. He probably stayed for about 8-9 months at the restaurant Casius Fromagerie Bistro, and then went off, opened some of his own businesses, went super corporate. But we always stayed in touch. I love staying in touch with people that I've worked with, who have worked for me or with me, and especially people that are interesting like Etkin. And I remember getting a call out of the blue sometime in 2018, and Etkin said, I'd like to meet up. I'd like to talk to you about a business opportunity. And I was like, uh-oh, this sounds serious. We sat down. Etkin presented a full plan for a Nashville hot chicken concept. He and I had been in Nashville together for a beer conference, and we'd eaten a ton of different Nashville hot chicken at different restaurants and just absolutely fell in love with it. There was nothing like it up in Connecticut. There's no crispy fried chicken dipped in, screaming hot oil, just like explosive, bold flavors. You just couldn't find that. And listened, said, wow, this sounds amazing. He's like, I don't want to do a restaurant. I want to do a brand. I want to do a full-on concept. This is about growth. And my first reaction was, no, thank you. I'm overwhelmed with what I've got. I'm out. And Etkin doesn't say no for an answer. So I got invited to meet our two other founding business partners, Rob Lashonica, who heads up all of our culinary, and Craig Sklar, who does all of our technology. And I was blown away by the food. I was blown away by those guys, the entire concept. And that night I was like, okay, I'm in. And we started Haven Hot Chicken.
Etkin, what about you?
Yeah.
So add anything?
Yeah. So I had known Craig and Rob for several years, and Craig, Rob, and I had started with the brand development, started prototyping all the brand assets, brand guidelines, and really developing the story of the concept that we wanted to create. At the same time, we're doing a bunch of rigorous recipe testing, doing iterations upon iterations of the recipes that we have today. And after 3 or 4 months of work across myself, Rob, and Craig, I felt like something was missing in the organization. And so started kind of trying to understand what was missing, how we could replace it. And at the end of the day, like, I'd worked for Jason in the past. Jason's a serial entrepreneur with a bunch of successful businesses in Connecticut. And the thing that always resonated was with every business that he opened, he captured people with the brand that he created. And there was feeling and conviction behind the brand. And so that was a thing that we needed in order to propel the brand forward. So after we had convinced him to join, we were kind of off to the races, and he was immediately able to help us change the game and launch the brand forward to where we are today.
Well, Haven Hot Chicken has experienced some explosive growth, growing from 4 stores to 9 stores in just 10 months. Is that right? Tell me a little bit about that. What's the secret to scaling so rapidly while maintaining quality and brand consistency?
I think part of it is fearlessness and just being able to, everyone's saying you're absolutely insane, and we're like, good, that's what we're looking for, really driving forward. But, we've said this before, and we'll say it over and over again. The secret to any growth as an organization, especially like ours, comes down to people. We at the time that we went from 4 to 9, we had been taking our time at the 4 units, developing a pipeline of leadership that would be able to grow and expand to the additional locations. So from 4 to 9, we added over 100 employees to the company. And around 40%, just shy of 40% of the store level leadership at all of the new locations came from existing restaurants. That internal pipeline of growth is so essential for us. People are our greatest strength, and people will also always be our greatest challenge as an organization as we grow.
I think one of the things that we do as an organization to be able to have that kind of growth is to really embrace when things don't work out for us, fail forward, learn, and call out those failures as opportunities rather than actual failures. Because there was a learning curve, obviously, when you're growing that quickly. And we learned a ton over that mega growth period. We also, from our first unit in 001 in New Haven to our second unit, 002 in Orange, we waited 18 months. We really wanted to get the recipes, the training, the documentation down. All of that we did in that first 18 months from 1 to 2 has been completely overhauled. So we're in a constant flux of change and improvement, always improving. Today was great. Tomorrow's got to be better.
Right. So you've nearly doubled your guest count year over year. What specific strategies drove this increase in customer traffic?
We take the guests very seriously. We use a platform called Ovation that gives us direct reviews. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before. That's one of my all-time favorite tools.
Shout out to Zach.
Shout out to Zach.
Yeah.
We love Ovation. We've had Ovation from the very start. So we're constantly listening to our guests and dialoguing back and forth. We don't use any AI when it comes to working with our guests. It's our managers actually talking to them, getting their feedback, and then making moves and changes from what they're telling us to better our business. Recently, just on a guest basis, we started using Bicky. I don't know if you've heard of those guys, to sort of learn more about who our guests are and what they're looking for. And that's been a big part of the strategy. As we grow, double our guest count, we need to be able to listen to them, see who they are, when they're coming in, why they're coming, and where they're coming from, so we can better serve them.
And I think, speaking of Bicky, shout out to Abhinav, by the way. Bicky's a great partner of ours. One of the really important things is we want to meet our guests where they are. Simplicity and convenience continues to be a driving factor for consumers in general. And so we always strive to be meeting those needs. So we just launched our app. We just launched first party delivery. Again, providing these compelling moments for people to interact with our brand and drive frequency is something that's critical for us. And then also just opening revenue centers, providing optionality with how people interact with our products, things like catering, again, the app. Up in less than a year ago, we launched DoorDash. It's something completely new for us, right? And so making sure that we're meeting our guests where they are is something that's been critical to our growth.
Now you serve 230,000 pounds of chicken. That's a lot of chicken. That's a massive undertaking. How do you manage supply chain and ensure that you're sourcing high quality ingredients to meet that kind of demand?
Well, right now we only work with Cisco, which has simplified things for us. We've got a great relationship. We're also, because we're just in Connecticut and we just have 9 stores, we're with one Cisco house. So we get the luxury at the moment of working with one dedicated rep. Most recently, we've onboarded a GPO, procurement specialist company, Stevens Food Group, and we're digging deep into procurement so we can better take care of our ingredients. Our ingredients are absolutely everything to us. We use NAE halal chicken, so we use some of the best chicken you can get, and we're always looking for consistency. Our chicken process takes up to 3 days by the time it comes into our stores and out to the guest. So really honing in on the whole process throughout and making sure that every ingredient we bring in is the highest quality. And then, of course, we have to watch our costs because things are quite expensive these days. So I wear a procurement hat along with Rob, but we work on a daily basis with our Cisco rep. And every day it's gotten better and better. As we expand out of the state, we're excited to take on the new challenges that we know are going to occur as we spread out into more distribution houses.
So tell me about the Great Banana Pudding Drive. That's a fantastic initiative. Tell me a little bit about that and your partnership with CT Food Share.
Yeah, absolutely. We when we sat down to really set this organization up, we said that there was going to be a philanthropic angle no matter what. We feel like if you're a business in the world today, you should be doing something for good. I reached out to CT Food Share a couple of years ago and I said, hey, we would love to do a can drive. And they said, we don't want your cans. And I was kind of taken aback. And I made it all the way up to the CEO, whose name is Jason as well. And I said, come down to our facility. Let us show you what we really do here. And I went down. I learned that CT Food Share serves the entire state of Connecticut. We have over 450,000 Connecticut residents who are underserved when it comes to food. 125,000 of them are under the age of 12. That's a big deal. Food is not a privilege; it's a right, and we feel like everyone should be able to eat. So we sat down and said, "What is it that you need?" And they said, "We need money. We're buying fresh produce. We're buying from local Connecticut farms. We're putting all this food together, and we're delivering it to every shelter, every food closet, every church in Connecticut, and that goes for Bridgeport, Connecticut, to Fairfield County, which is one of the richest in the entire country. There are people still in need." So he said, all right, well, what's the cost of a meal? I said, well, the cost of a meal is 50 cents. That's what they put it down. So every time we sell a banana pudding, we take 50 cents of that banana pudding and it goes to CT Food Share. So far, last year, I don't have this year's numbers, but last year we raised around $60,000, helped feed almost 120,000 Connecticut residents a meal. We're excited about that. We want to keep going. And as we expand outside of Connecticut, we want to continue the Great Banana Pudding Drive with larger organizations like Feed America. So we can continue to provide meals for just about anyone. What's really cool is that we have an option on our online and app where if you don't want a banana pudding drive, but you want to donate $1, you can just do that. And it'll go directly to CT Food Share. And I'm blown away at how many of our guests just say, yeah, I'll do it. I'll add $1. I'll go for it. I'll donate some meals. This is our big sort of philanthropic endeavor, but each of the stores and their GM and AGM team get to choose who they want to donate to within their community. So we do a ton of community support as well, but the Banana Pudding Drive sort of encompasses the entire organization.
Now, let's talk about your Shoes for Cruise program. That's hard to say. Shoes for Cruise.
Shoes for Cruise.
Yeah, Shoes for Cruise.
Shoes for Cruise. You that really demonstrates a commitment to your employees. What prompted this initiative, and what has been the team's reaction?
Yeah, so this is one of those things that, again, at the start of the company, we all agreed as co-founders that we wanted to have a unified mantra: be a good employer. Being a good employer is one of the secrets to our success. Every time we have a question about benefits, pay, responsibilities, work environment, anything like that, we make sure that we're putting our team members first. And so Shoes for Cruise is a great partnership that we have. Every 6 months, our team members get a new pair of non-slip work shoes. And that is just one small piece of a whole host of benefits that we offer our teams. We offer health benefits up and down, top and bottom of the company. We also offer a 401k with match. We offer accrued PTO, sick days, in addition to discounts and all of that stuff. At the end of the day, we want to have a compelling work environment, a compelling place to work that offers people competitive pay and competitive benefits.
I was going to say, like, from my perspective, I used to be back of the house, and it it stinks to have like a nice pair of sneakers you like get ruined, well, with flour and oil. But to have non-slip, and we know they're safe and comfortable, they get to pick out whatever pair they want, and have their manager order for them. It's such a nice benefit to go home and know that, like, those are my work shoes, but these are my shoes.
Right. Now, speaking of your employees, you've reduced hourly turnover to just over 10%. That's impressive in the restaurant industry. I mean, it really is. What specific retention strategies have been most effective for you guys?
Yeah, I think Jason and I need to give kudos to two other folks on our team. Rob Latronica, one of our co-founders, and then Gretchen Barkis, who's our Chief Operating Officer. They have developed really robust training and development programs within the organization. And so, like, everything from the interview process itself, the way that they communicate with potential candidates, all the way to the actual onboarding process, the way that you experience your first minute, hour shift in the store. It's detailed and it's documented and codified to make sure that you feel comfortable, supported, and know that you have an opportunity to grow within our organization. And then we're always, as Jason mentioned, we're big on Kaizen and continuous improvement. One of our big initiatives for 2025 is we're doing like kind of a 2.0 of all of our training programs. We are not the type of business where we tell you, you have to put the chicken in the fryer for 2 minutes and 30 seconds because that's the way it is. We explain the why. We go into the science behind what they're doing, why it matters, what it's important, why it's important. We have this big moniker within the organization, CCJSD. It's crispy, crunchy, juicy, spicy, delicious. This is our quality metric, right? And as we do that, again, we get to have a little bit of fun, but we also get to explain to them that we're texture people. When you bite into a piece of our chicken, there's a crunch, and that crunch is critical. There's also crust adhesion, which is really important to us. Every piece of chicken retains its breading as you go through the process of eating it. It doesn't slide off or slink off or anything like that, because that's a terrible eating experience. We explain to our teams why we do what we do, the science behind it, the process behind it. So they're being educated and they're learning about why we go to the lengths we do to produce our products. And that generates engagement. It's not always that you get to work for an employer that explains things. I've been working in restaurants in and out for 20 years of my life. I almost never was told why to do something. I was just told how to do it, right?
I think there's some small things that we've been doing too that hone in on one of our values is joyfulness. So over the holidays, we have 9 people on the corporate team. We borrowed my neighbor's bus. There's a big old van. We each made our own cookie. We put them in 9 different big tins, and we went to every single one of our 9 stores, and we presented a big old tin of freshly baked cookies from us to the teams. We dialogued with them. We hung out with them. Over Halloween, we dropped off 4 pumpkins at every store, and we had a contest the following week to see who could decorate and carve the best pumpkins. And we awarded all kinds of different awards for them. So we're having a good time. We're not just saying, come in, punch the clock, sell, and make chicken. We want to have fun too. And we want to make sure that our teams are having fun. Yes, it's more than just, and I think that adds up. It's, you buy a pizza. Okay, that doesn't do much. But like every single month, our GMs have a budget that they have to spend on their team. They can buy them hats. They can buy them mugs. They can just take them out for coffee, or they can do a pizza party if that's what hits. But I think those little things add up and create retention. And we know that retention saves us a ton of money on training. Because if we're expanding and we're pulling people up, one of the things that Etkin mentioned, something we're so proud of, to be able to pull our teams from, straight hourly to an AGM, a shift lead, a GM, and even into a corporate trainer. That to us, like, that's our favorite part of this whole business. In order to do that, we have to retain. And so that's where we're coming from, with a great employee engagement sort of philosophy, doing whatever we can to have some fun.
I guess my last question, future growth plans for Haven Hot Chicken. What markets are you targeting for expansion? If you want to let us know that, what are your future plans? What are we looking at?
Yeah, we're super excited about that. This year we're gonna open up probably 3 or 4 corporate stores. We're looking in Massachusetts, where we have LOIs right now. We're also looking in New Jersey, and we're also in the process of finishing up our FDD, so we can start franchising. And so once we have some good footholds as we expand out of Connecticut, we'll be looking to franchise in sort of concentric circles from our corporate units, so we can really provide a ton of robust support for our franchisees.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us today. We are out of time. This has been awesome. We'd like to thank you guys for being with us, and that'll do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time.